Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Sebastian, back with another video. After hours of long grinding, after sleepless nights, after unskippable cutscenes, after farming for loot, I have finally done it. It took me 3.5 years, but I finally managed to get 50 platinum trophies. This feels surreal, since this is what I've been basing my content on for the last 3.5 years, and I've seen my channel grow, I've seen my channel evolve, and I wanted to do something special since it's 50 platinum trophies. It's a milestone for sure. You might have seen that my PSN profile says I have 51 platinum trophies. That's true, but at the same time, one of them is a duplicated trophy because I did a PS5 remaster of a PS4 game which I had platinum, so it was a duplicated auto pop, so I don't count that as a separate platinum trophy. That's why we're doing only 50, not the 51. So yeah, we're gonna rank all of the games I have platinumed. I did a tier list right here, and if you think I'm talking bullshit that I haven't platinumed these games, I'll put the link down in the description to my PSN profiles page so you can go check it out. Yeah, some of them took longer than the others, but the categories I've gone for is pain, tough but fair, easy but lengthy, easy with fair challenge, and cakewalk. So obviously you can already see all the games I've platinumed. It doesn't matter, because I don't want to waste your time. If you don't like the games that are here, you can quit the video right now. But before we begin, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and check me out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/HelenSebastian. I'm currently working on Ratchet Gladiator and Baldur's Gate 3. So every time we hit 50 new platinum trophies, that's when we're making another tier list. So after this one, I'll see you at the 100th platinum. And by the way, if we hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, we're super close, like 140 away. So check it out. If we hit the 1,000 follower mark by the end of this year, I'm gonna go for the Super Meat Boy Platinum Trophy. So these are all in the order in which I have completed them. So my first ever platinum trophy is Demon's Souls, a remake from 2020, and this was actually one of the main reasons I got the PS5, because it looked interesting. I had never played the Souls games before. The reason I went for platinum trophies to begin with was because I wanted to get everything out of the game. Games are super expensive nowadays, and I wanted to take everything out of it as much as I could. Demon's Souls is a very tough, but oh fuck man, what's happening here? A very tough but fair. Astro's Playroom comes with the PS5 pre-installed. I'm gonna put that at cakewalk. We all know what Astro's Playroom is. It's a demo platformer for the DualSense controller mainly, but it's a very good game, a very good experience. I highly recommend it, and I've heard that there's a full-length game that just came out. I haven't checked it out yet, but I will at some point. Astro's Playroom was a very fun time. When I got into Souls, as you can see, I went full-on Souls mode. So next up we have Bloodborne, one of the most infamous games to platinum. It's tough but fair. It's tough but fair, definitely. It pretty much goes for every Dark Souls game. Dark Souls 3 actually is my first ever Dark Souls experience. I got this on the PS4 when I was waiting on my PS5. I had gotten the Demon's Souls remake for Christmas, but I didn't have a console to play it on, so I wanted to see what the Souls games were all about, and this was pain at first, but when I got the hang of these previous titles, it was tough but fair. The bosses in Dark Souls 3 are amazing. In Dark Souls 2, they're pretty forgettable. In the first Dark Souls, well, it's a classic game. Bloodborne, I wish they would do a remaster or a sequel to this game. It's amazing. Sekiro, pretty self-explanatory. It's more of a stealth game, and this focuses way more on deflecting than attacking. And it really doesn't have the same kind of RPG elements the Souls game have, but it's a really good game. I highly recommend this for anybody who likes Dark Souls. You really have to relearn everything. It's definitely different when it comes to game mechanics. But it's a really 5 out of 5 game. I have to point out real quick that none of the games I've platinumed are bad per se. There are some examples which we'll get into soon enough, but none of the games are bad. I only platinum games I actually enjoy. If I don't enjoy the game, I'm not gonna bother putting in hours of work just to get one pixelated trophy to my PSN account. Not gonna happen. Elden Ring. This game is tough but fair as well, and it's the best game ever made for me personally. I even have a Malenia tattoo. So all the mainline Souls games completed. What do you do after that? Well, you start doing different things, and there was this one game that was a very big thing back in the day, and that's Hades. And it's an indie game. It's real, and this is one of those games where I got the platinum trophy by accident. I had gotten this game, and I just really enjoyed it. I played it for like what, 80 hours, and suddenly I just noticed, hey, I'm 2 trophies short from the platinum, and then I went for it. And this game it's actually pretty easy with fair challenge. Definitely, it's a very easy game. It might be very intimidating at first if you don't like the gameplay. It might feel a bit different at first, but that's with every game. You get used to the controls as you go, and you get basically more powerful every time you die. You go back to the beginning, you level up, and use the resources you gathered during your last run before you died, and you get stronger. So death isn't like a punishment like as they are in the Souls games. It's actually pretty rewarding. You get further and further every time. And the game actually begins after the end credits, believe me or not. It's wild. And I have played the sequel on the PC. I haven't finished it. I know it's early access, but I can't wait for that to come to PS5 as well, and I'm gonna get that platinum trophy for sure. Alright, so after Hades, I decided to go back to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. This was released in 2021, but you all know I was working on the Souls games back then. So I wanted to jump in and try and get the platinum trophy for this, and I got it in like 10 hours or so. It's a very short platinum, it's a very short game, but it's definitely worth it. It's cakewalk for sure. It's very, very easy. Didn't really give me any challenge, but I could have upped the difficulty, so it's all on me. Then I wanted to go back to something more demanding, and that's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. You have, like, when it comes to going for the Resident Evil Platinum trophies, you know you're gonna play through them a lot. Resident Evil 7 I did in, like, I had finished this game many times before, so it was more of a cleanup, but I still did 3 complete runs just to get the circle chainsaw for the Madhouse mode. So this was tough, but certainly fair. You knew if you die in Resident Evil, you know it's your fault. Resident Evil 2, same thing. I think this was actually Resident Evil was easy with fair challenge. It wasn't that hard. Same cannot be said for Resident Evil 3 remake. This game was pain. This game was pain. I did fucking 5 or 6 playthroughs to get this. Inferno and Nightmare mode, they're pretty nasty. Nemesis is only a boss encounter. A scripted boss encounter in the game. And the last encounter usually is very, very easy, but when going on the higher difficulties, he one-shots you, and you have to do it all over and over again. And not to say, if you die before your first save point, you have to watch all the cutscenes again. This didn't feel like it was worth it. Like, Resident Evil 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, but Resident Evil 3 Remake just doesn't really do it for me. Didn't have the same tension as in the original. Then we're moving to God of War. This is actually one of those games I never played as a kid, like as I did then later on. But I started with God of War 2018, and this was not easy but lengthy. Easy with fair challenge. It's a really good platinum trophy. Not gonna lie, it felt like it's very, very good. Not to mention the story is beautiful. You can do this actually on any difficulty you want to, so it doesn't have difficulty related trophies whatsoever, and that's good. Resident Evil Village, this was also easy with fair challenge. Like, I actually screwed up. You have to beat the game with just using melee weapons, and I messed up at one point towards the end of the game, and guess what? Yo boy didn't save. So yeah, I had to do that all over again. So this was just, actually I'm gonna put this as easy but lengthy. This was very long. This was very long, and now you gotta know, easy might mean different to me than to you. Like, at this point, I don't think there's a single game that I couldn't platinum. I can platinum whatever, but to see the time and the effort, that's a different story, you know. After Village, we got God of War Ragnarok at the end of 2022, and I actually liked this less than God of War 2018. It just felt like it overstayed its welcome many times. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but doing all the side content, it feels too tedious and too repetitive, let's put it that way. This game really doesn't introduce anything new gameplay-wise, except for the Slade. Then we had Dead Space Remake. What a fantastic game, by the way. I played the original Dead Space games. I might actually go for the Platinum Trophy on the original Dead Space games too, so who knows? I thought this wasn't that bad. You can save scum your way through the hardest difficulty, and after that you get a lot of rewards, which makes future runs way more easier. So this is I think this is easy but lengthy. Resident Evil 4. The longest Resident Evil game to platinum for me personally. This took me 5 or 6 runs. And as well, it wasn't that difficult actually. It had some moments that were harder, but otherwise it was pretty manageable after everything else I've done, so easy but very lengthy. And same can be said for Final Fantasy 16. You all know I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I might go for the Platinum Trophies on the Pixel Remaster collection. That would be actually pretty nice to do someday. And do the original Final Fantasy VII. That would be amazing. But we got a new title last year, Final Fantasy 16. This was actually one of the reasons as well why I purchased the PS5 in the first place. This was announced back in 2020. So it took a long while for this game to come out. This game gets way more hate than it actually deserves. I feel like the combat is very repetitive. That's my only issue with the game. And the soundtrack is beautiful, but that's very repetitive as well. Like, I didn't feel too inspired at any boss fight when the same fighting music repeats over and over in every fight. Some exceptions are made though, but that's the concept with the game. It's a good game in general, but going for the platinum, it's easy, but very lengthy. Okay, then we get to my Insomniac. We basically got to it already with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, but Now there's a bunch of Insomniac games coming up, and if you played any of these games, you know why they are amazing. Spider-Man Remastered, Cakewalk. Miles Morales, Cakewalk. Yeah, I'll put this at the same time because they're basically the same game. Miles Morales is basically a DLC to Marvel Spider-Man. They're amazing games, and they're very easy. I think these are very beginner-friendly Platinum trophies, but they aren't... But that doesn't mean that they're any less good, you know. Now we're coming to the hard territory. Crash Bandicoot, and... Obviously, I did the Insane trilogy, but I have the covers for the originals. I don't know why they couldn't make separate covers. There was only the Insane trilogy. And you might think that, well, maybe you'd put them in the same tier. Well, no, that's actually not the case. For example, Crash Bandicoot 1. This is pain. And that's all just because of the time trials. The time trials were not in the original Crash Bandicoot, but they're here. And they weren't made for the game, and you feel it when you go through the time trials. If I do it now, I don't know, maybe my opinion would differ, but at the time when I went for the Platinum Trophy, the mindset was that this is pain. I spent 8 hours straight on the high road and 6 more hours at Road to Nowhere. Those goddamn bridge levels, they weren't fun. They weren't fun. But then we have a Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and this is actually my favorite Crash Bandicoot game. I think it just improves over everything Crash Bandicoot 1 did, and adds just way more things to it, like the double jump. No, this does the double jump, but the dash jump. Does it have double jump? I can't remember now. Oh, goddamn, it's been too long. It's been too long. Last year. It's been like 1 year since I got the Crash Bandicoot Platinum trophies, but I feel like this was tough but fair. And when it comes to Crash 3, it's the easiest of the bunch. The time trials were in the original Crash 3, so I think it's easy with a fair challenge. Crash 3 ain't that bad, to be honest. Ratchet and Clank, I mean, the outdated gaming mechanics puts it in easy with fair challenge, but it could also go to Cakewalk. Let's put it in easy with fair challenge. Going Commando, one of the best games in the series. It's Cakewalk. It's Cakewalk, but that doesn't make the game any worse. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. This is my favorite Ratchet and Clank game. Right after A Crack in Time, which I'm actually gonna platinum too at some point. I actually wanted to platinum the entire Future trilogy, but that's not possible since Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty don't have platinum trophies, not trophies in general, actually. But this game is actually easy with fair challenge. This has actually some pretty challenging moments, but it's doable, like more than doable. It's like actually pretty easy. Not Cakewalk though, it does require some skill. Next we have Marvel Spider-Man 2, the long-awaited sequel. Story-wise, I enjoyed Spider-Man 2 more than these two. It just resonated with me. I know this gets a lot of hate too, because it's woke. I guess every game nowadays is woke. But I enjoyed it. I really actually love this game. The platinum is... I guess it's pretty repetitive though. Because you basically do the same things in all of the 3 games. You complete objectives around New York. So it doesn't really bring anything new to the table, like gameplay wise. But it's cool to switch between Spidey and Miles. Yeah, it's a good game. It's a very good game. I can recommend it. Then we have Alan Wake 2, and this is from Finland, my home country, where I currently live, where I was born, so this meant a lot to me, actually. Alan Wake 1 is one of my favorite games when it comes to horror or psychological thrillers, but Alan Wake 2 exceeds that. I feel like Alan Wake 2 is a better game. I did this on my first playthrough, actually, because I'm the kind of guy, when I play horror games, or games with a lot of exploration, I love to explore, I love to read everything, and just sink it in, you know. So Alan Wake 2, it's not a cakewalk, it's easy with fair challenge. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, now we have the worst platinum trophy on the list. And by worst, I mean the most difficult that I've done. Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. This is pain. This is pain on a whole other level. I completed the Insane Trilogy in like, what, 66 hours. That's 3 games and 3 platinum trophies. It took me over 100 hours to do Crash 4 alone. And people usually tell me that the time trials are the worst thing in Crash 4, since here you need to get the platinum relics, whereas in the original 3 games you only need to get the gold relics and you get the platinum trophy. The platinum relics are just to brag about in the 3 first games. However, here you have to get the platinum time trial relics. It's very demanding, very doable though. But the thing that makes this very hard is the insanely perfect relics, where you have to destroy all the crates in the level without dying at all. So, yeah. That's why the time trials were so easy, because I went for the insanely perfect relics first, so I really knew the layouts of every level pretty well when I got to the time trials. Crash Bandicoot 4 is a very good game. It might even be the best in the series, and why I say might is because the platinum trophy experience actually ruined this game for me. I really have no desire of ever playing Crash 4 again, just for the wrong reasons. Then we're coming to Lies of P. This was a big surprise that it came out last year. This was recommended to me by a friend. He knows that I love Souls games. I just finished Lies of P, and he said that if you love Bloodborne, you're gonna love this. So you better get it. And I usually don't play like copycat games like Souls likes or anything. I've done Neo, but I haven't platinumed that either, and neither will I in the foreseeable future. But Lies of P, it's a fantastic game. It's tough but fair, for sure. It even might be the hardest Souls game, now when I think about it, because it's kind of like Bloodborne and Sekiro put together. It focuses a lot on deflecting as well, but you have to remember to be aggressive at the same time, so it's kind of like the perfect hybrid. Also, I love Pinocchio, so to see this unique take on the character is just fantastic. One of the best copycat or Souls-like games that have ever been made. If not the best, I haven't tried all of them, obviously. I said that none of the games I've platinumed are bad, but these 2 are the exception. Why do I have My Name is Mayo, you might ask? Well, just because. I just wanted to try if this is legit, that if you can actually get the platinum trophy that fast. Well, I got both of them back to back within an hour, so yeah. I wouldn't even say it's cakewalk. These are shovelware games, so wish I could have fucking added a 6th tier here. I would have put like Thrash. These would have gotten... These would have been the only games to be put in the trash bin. Okay, so next off we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. One of my favorite games ever, Final Fantasy VII. The remake is just the first part of a remade trilogy of Final Fantasy VII. We have 2 installments that are out right now. Nobody knows when the third one launches. I think it might come out in 2027. That's my bet. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's tough but fair. It has some good challenges, and this takes like, what, 70 hours to platinum. There's a lot to collect, and you have to replay a lot for the bridal candidate outfits, and you have to play this on hard mode as well, which is only available after you've completed the game, so it is what it is. But it's a very good game, and I can recommend this to basically anybody. The storytelling is fantastic. However, with both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, I very much disagree with the writing, how they handled the endings of both of the games. But otherwise, fantastic story, fantastic and very lovable characters in the game, and fantastic music. Next off, we have Last of Us Part 1, the remake, remaster that came out on the PS5. Last of Us is one of my favorite games ever, so obviously I wanted to try this out. And actually, this is the easiest way, or the easiest version of the Platinum Trophy you can get for Last of Us. I think it has like 3 separate trophy lists for the Platinum, like the PS3, the PS4 remaster, and the PS5 remake remaster. I don't know what it's even called, but Last of Us Part 1, it's a very good game, but I have to tell you guys, it's cakewalk. It's cakewalk. It's in the... I'm ashamed to put it in the same place as My Name is Mayo. So Ghost of Tsushima was my first game I platinumed this year, and it's in my top 10 best games of all time. Quick story time. My cousin purchased this game for me a few years ago, and I tried it for a few hours, and I really didn't get into it at first. But when you had the chance to vote for this game, like for me to platinum this game, I had no choice, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the characters, I fell in love with the world, with the writing, with everything, with the combat, with the stealth. It's one of the best games ever made, in my opinion, and it's made by the same people that made Sly Cooper. And actually, it was just announced at the State of Play that this game is getting a sequel next year, Ghost of Yotei, and I'm gonna play it day one, obviously. I haven't done the DLC trophies yet, neither have I done the online trophies yet, because they were not required for the Platinum Trophy, but now in the light of the news that there's a sequel coming next year, I might do a cleanup and get the DLC trophies as well. That would be actually kind of fun. So where would I put this? I think this is easy with fair challenge, because you can do this on any difficulty you want. It's fine. I did it on hard, and it still felt pretty easy, but with fair challenge, it was good. Next up, we have GTA Vice City, the Definitive Edition. Do I have to go in on the Definitive Edition, on what I think of it? I think we all think the same way about the Definitive Editions. It's fine. It's fine to get the Platinum Trophies if you want to, but otherwise they look like total shit. But yeah, the original versions of these 2 Definitive Edition games are way better and hold up better than the Definitive, and not to speak of the bugs. Vice City crashed on me for 2 or 3 times maybe. GTA San Andreas crashed 5 times. But where would I rank this? I'd say I'd go with easy, but very, very lengthy. So then we go back to the original God of War games that I missed as a kid, because I found the God of War HD collection with these 2 on disc, and I had to buy it. So I figured out, why not get the Platinum Trophies for them as well. God of War, I think, easy with fair challenge, and that applies to both of them. Well, actually, yeah. And San Andreas, that's easy, but very, very lengthy. But San Andreas is a classic. You can't hate Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's so good. Next up, we have God of War 3 Remastered. Cakewalk. There wasn't... like, God of War 3 might be my favorite in the franchise, but the Platinum Trophy was a cakewalk. I was very busy when doing this trophy. I was just doing my last few months at school. And I was very much excited for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I knew that that was gonna take my time throughout the spring. So I did what every man would do. Cheated. And looking up guides ain't cheating, but using glitches is. That's what I did for God of War 3. Normally, this requires you to do 2 playthroughs. You have to do it... You can do it on whatever difficulty at first. And then you have to do it on the hardest difficulty. However, there is a glitch in the game where you can skip everything in the hard mode. And that's what I did. Right after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was announced, and I gave this game a lot of compliments when it came to the Platinum Trophy. It's very tough but fair. The combat simulations are the worst in the game, but like it's very much... It very much comes down to skill, you know. But when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's pain. It's pain. It's very long. As I said, this takes like around 70 hours to complete. Rebirth took me 150 hours to complete. And I think like... It basically has the same things as in this first part of the trilogy. You have like a story-specific trophy for once you've completed every chapter in the game. But then you have the combat simulations again. There are way more challenges in this game, and the last 5 or 6 are unbearably hard and took me 2 weeks to do. Yeah, it's pain. It's definitely pain, and the games that went to the pain section were the games that actually put my gaming skills to my limits, and these 4 games did exactly that. So, subscribe to this channel. If we reach 1000, we get another game up here for my 100 Platinum Trophy list when I do Super Meat Boy. So check me out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/HelenSebastian. Links down in the description. So after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you might think that I go for an easier Platinum, and a Platinum that doesn't require too much time nor effort. Well, you are wrong. I went for the Grand Theft Auto 5 Platinum Trophy. And if you're wondering why I'm doing Rockstar games, well, the reason is that a small title called Grand Theft Auto 6 was announced late last year, and it's coming next year, so I want to get as many Rockstar Platinums as I can. I would love to do Grand Theft Auto 4, but since it's on the PS3, and since it has online trophies that are mandatory for the Platinum, there is no way I'm doing that on the PS3. No way. It's dead. The online is dead. Grand Theft Auto 5 wasn't actually that bad. I'd say it goes pretty much to the same category as the other 2 I've done. Easy but lengthy, and this was very lengthy. It took me over 200 hours in total, because this has online trophies as well, and you have to, like... The short of it, you have to just basically do everything. You have to reach rank 100 and win like every race. Shit like this, do golf. Play Waves of Survival. There's a lot to do in this game, but Grand Theft Auto 5 is not a bad game. It's actually pretty fucking good. But I did not do this like within a month or so. I did this since last summer. I started playing this on the PS4 version. I got the platinum for the PS5 version. But I started the game, I got the 100% completion for the story, which was actually pretty fun to do. It wasn't that bad, it took me around 106 hours. But then I decided I wanted to get the PS5 version of the game. The story trophies auto-popped, and then I went for the online, started at 0, and I am by no means online multiplayer type of a gamer. As you can see, most of the games I've played are like single player games. GTA Online wasn't that bad until post rank 50. After that it was just a tedious grind, and the last 50 levels I did, I grinded on them for a week, from the moment I woke up to the moment when I went to bed. For 5 to 7 days. That's how Grand Theft Auto 5 is. The gold medals weren't that bad as well, because you can like do the requirements one at a time. You don't need to do all of them. So I think it's a very generous platinum trophy when it comes to that, but it's long. It's a very easy but a very lengthy game. But if you are working from 9 to 5, or if you have kids, or if you go to school, you might want to forget about the platinum trophy. Next up, we have Cuphead. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that this is either pain or tough but fair. And honestly, Cuphead really wasn't that hard. I can't lie to you all, it really wasn't. Cuphead was actually pretty easy. It was hard to get into at first, but once you understand the game's mechanics, it really isn't that bad. Cuphead was actually a very, very fun game, and I enjoyed it. I'm actually doing a 24-hour stream now this upcoming Saturday, and I'm gonna get most of the DLC trophies as well, because why the fuck not? It's a pretty fucking good game. So we're down to the 6 final games, which I've platinumed, and the next one is Alien Isolation. You know I love the survival horror games, and I love Alien. It's amazing. I love the Xenomorph. I actually have a moderator who's fucking horny for this fucking monstrous being. So that's how fucked up I am. Alien Isolation was pretty easy. You have to play it on the hardest difficulty, but you can save scum your way out of it. It's easy but very, very lengthy. I think it kinda overstays its welcome pretty much. Next off, we have Red Dead Redemption 2. This is the longest platinum trophy I have. It took me over 230 hours to achieve the Red Dead Redemption 2 platinum trophy. Like, I would put... I don't know where actually to put this, because it's kinda easy but very lengthy. But then again, it's tough but fair. But then again, it's pain. And the pain doesn't come from the difficulty or anything, it comes from the time that's put into the game for all the wrong reasons. It's pretty similar to Grand Theft Auto 5 Platinum Trophy. The reason why it's in pain is because, first, the online compared to Grand Theft Auto Online is bad as fuck. It's dead. People just don't play it. It's empty. It's repetitive. A friend of mine, Wolfix, helped me out with some of the online trophies, but otherwise, getting 3 MVPs, I did that on my own, and after that, it was just grinding to rank 50, which I did by having the collector role and collecting items all over the map, over and over and over again, for a few days in a row. But I had just had tonsil removal surgery, so I had all the time in the world. So you can, like, believe it or not, but I did Red Dead Redemption 2's Platinum Trophy within a month, and it's over 230 hours in length. Don't ask me why, that's how I did it. Next off, we're not done with the Souls games. Me and Wolfix had an idea after playing Red Dead Online together, since she is also a Souls content creator, so it made sense that we'd want to do something together. I'm actually replaying Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin with Wolfix. I'm actually trying to help her getting the Platinum Trophies, just a few Platinum Trophies short from having every Souls game completed. So we decided to play the original Demon Souls on the PS3. She was on the other side of Discord, and we were sharing thoughts and, like, looking up guides together and just doing it. Like, we got the Platinum Trophy one day apart. I'd say that this is easy but lengthy, because we had both played all of the Souls games. So going back to Demon Souls again was not as bad as people made it out to be. People said that this is the hardest Souls game ever made, since it's on the older hardware and it's very difficult to manage, but it really isn't. Farming for the pure Bladestone, I think, was the only part that made this game longer than it should be. Otherwise, really no issue. It's a good game. It's a very good game. And this is the game that started all of these. And Lies of P, obviously. After that, I went right away and decided to complete Cyberpunk 2077. I hadn't actually finished this game before August of this year, since when it came out originally on the PS4 it was a buggy mess, we all know that, so I kinda left it there. But we also got a free PS5 update, and it's fantastic. The storytelling there is amazing, and it does some twists in it that you're just not expecting it, you know. And the gameplay, what can you say? It's an FPS game, basically. But it's fun, it's fun. It's like GTA meets Fallout in, like, Ghost Runner, you know. That's what Cyberpunk basically is, but it's a good game. It's a very, very good game. I'd say that it's easy with fair challenge. So the last two games here are back-to-back Sly Cooper 1 and 2. I just actually got the Sly 2 Platinum Trophy today, which is my 50th Platinum Trophy. The reason for going into these two are because Sony decided to re-release the original Sly Cooper ported to PS5 and PS4. So I got the game on the PS5, got the Platinum Trophy, and it's been years since I've played the Sly games. But Sly Cooper 1 is easy with fair challenge. It would be a cakewalk, but they have newer trophies for this. You could get all the 3 Sly Cooper trophies on the PS3, but the one that was put to PS5 and PS4 has a new trophy list, and it actually has some challenges in it. But it's a very good game. Next up, we have my favorite in the Sly Cooper franchise, Sly 2. And it's been almost 20 years since I've played it on the PlayStation 2. I got this purchased separately from the PlayStation 3 online store, and this is my 50th Platinum Trophy, and it's easy with fair challenge. One of the best games ever made, one of the best platformers ever made. There you have it! That's my tier list for my 50 Platinum Trophies. You might disagree with me, but this is what I have right now. And I'm gonna do so much more. As I said, I'm currently working on Ratchet Gladiator, also known as Ratchet Deadlocked in America. And then I'm working on Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm like halfway through Baldur's Gate 3, and I can say right now it's gonna be at the tough but fair or the paid portion of this tier list. I have planned that I'm gonna do GTA 3, I'm gonna do the first Red Dead Redemption game. There's so much to do. I've never even played Horizon games before. I've heard they're great. So, you never know what's gonna come next, but the way that you will know firsthand is by checking me out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/HelenSebastian, and I play a lot of games. I play so many games, so many categories. Like, I don't care about the genre, I just love playing video games, and you can see it here that my taste in gaming is like pretty wide. So I'm open to anything. I actually haven't platinum Crash Team Racing. That could be one. Wolfenstein could be one. I've heard Wolfenstein 2 is pretty brutal. Hollow Knight. And then if we reach the 1000 mark before the end of the year, I'm gonna do Super Meat Boy. I'm regretting it now. Nothing to it, guys. 50 platinum trophies. I'm gonna do a similar style of video when I reach 100. I might do a video where I rank these based on how amazing these games are. Actually, I can't. They're all pretty good. They're all pretty fucking good. I don't platinum bad games. Let's put it that way.